Hey guys, I have another educational video for you today, but first, check this out. You'll notice I don't have the boring pullover. I now have the classy button down. We hired a designer to come up with these. Actually, Randy, where did we get these? Was that Walmart? But yeah, I upgraded my shirt. Hope you like it. Make sure you push the like button so I can wear it again. I'm going to do an educational video today, and this goes along with our theme of Walthers, Walther PPs and PPKs, which are pre-1946. So yesterday, I got an email from Tim. You'll notice I'm still on AOL. That means I'm very, very old. There's only 2 people in the country, probably one guy watching this and me. Tim asked me this question, which I get asked fairly often. I want to buy one PP or PPK, and I'm not sure what to get. I could get a commercial, but I'd really like a military-issued gun. How do I know the difference? Great question, Tim, and here's your answer. The vast majority of Walther PPs and PPKs were commercial. And here's where it gets confusing. In 1940, actually end of 39, early 40, the Nazis decided to dress up their proof marks, and so they took the crown end proof mark and turned it into an eagle end proof mark. So during the war, all of the guns, PPs and PPKs, are going to have an eagle end. They're on the slide, the ejection port, and then a lot of people miss this one. You'll see one here on the end of the barrel. So that eagle end looks a lot like a Nazi eagle, and therefore mistakenly a lot of people say, oh, this one went to the Nazi military. It didn't. That's a commercial proof, a firing proof. All of them were test fired, inspected, and hit with an eagle end stamp. However, some of them did go to the military, and it has a completely separate marking, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but let me talk a little bit more about the commercial guns. In the German Army, unlike the American Army, it was not uncommon for an officer to buy their own pistol. I think it goes back to World War I, and between the wars, they actually didn't have a lot of money. There was a lot of budget cuts, and so it might take you a while to be able to get a sidearm. So a lot of the officers who came from usually the more upper class people would often go out and buy their own guns. The average citizen just couldn't walk into a store and buy a gun. You had to know somebody or be somebody in order to get a gun. Obviously, German officers were somebody in Germany, and they could go and buy their own pistol. What you'll notice in period photos that most of the line troops, meaning the grunt soldiers, they either carried a P-38 or a Luger. And they always say the smaller the gun, the higher the rank. The officers tend to have the smaller guns, and they liked the PP and the PPK. Also, we know they carried Sauers and HSCs, pistols of that size, but the most popular by far was the Walther PP and the PPK. So some of the commercial guns did go to the military, but they were private purchase, and there's no way for us to prove where it went. But the German Army did order guns, and they were specially marked. So what I'd like to do is take a look at how do we know it's military issued. The one unique feature that you'll find is the Waffen proof. Now this started out as an Eagle 359 proof and then went to a Waffen 359 proof. I'm going to show you those proof marks by talking about the different variations. Now in every video, sometimes people say you didn't give enough detail, and other people say way too much detail, you bored me to death. So what I've done is I put together a cheat sheet, which you can get from us by go to our website or just email us at the address below and ask us for this, and we'll email this over to you. You can also do a quick screenshot if that helps. For those of you who like the detail, this will go over all of the serial numbers for each variation. The first variation is an Eagle 359. Now 359 was the inspector proof for the Walther factory. You'll see that on all the Walther weapons. They'll have an Eagle or a Waffen Eagle 359. This is the first variation. High polish finish. It comes in a specific serial range. It was issued to the military as evidenced by the Waffen proofs. These are on the frame and the slide, and also a few you'll find the slide Waffen proof was on the tang. I don't have one to show you, but right here is the tang right on the end. Sometimes they'll be stamped there. Typically, they're stamped here and here. So this is a first variation because it's Eagle 359. Now let's talk about this second variation, which is also high polish, but now we've moved to an Waffen Eagle 359. Again, this is an inspector proof. Just like in the American factories, the inspectors would put their initials. This was kind of like their initial, but it was an inspector proof with 359, meaning Walther factory. This is a high polish finish. We still have the brown grip. Beautiful looking gun. The finish on this is exactly like the commercial guns. It wasn't later until later mid-war to late war they deteriorated the finish to a dull finish. We're going to see that in a minute. Now in a previous video I said, for those of you who are sharp, you'll remember this. I said if you ever see a numbered magazine, whether it's on the spine or the side or the bottom, it was a special contract. So this Waffen 359 has two matching magazines. It must be for a special purpose, and I won't bore you with the detail, but we have evidence from downed aircraft, but also from going to some of the Luftwaffe bases. We find these were sent to the Luftwaffe. This is a Luftwaffe marked holster with two matching mags. So we know that this went to the Luftwaffe, and they do fall within a specific serial range. Again, the cheat sheet will go over that for you. The third variation is Waffen 359, but no matching magazine. So therefore, it's still the high polish finish. It's a new serial range, and you can take a look at that a little bit later, but these went to the German Army. And the final variation, fourth variation, they fall in the late war range, and you'll see this has more of a dull finish. It also has the black grip that you won't find a matching magazine, but it's Waffen 359. Let's just compare it to the high polish finish. You can see the difference with the dull military, fourth contract, and then the earlier third contract, high polish finish. So on the military issued PPs, very similar. It'll sound a little repetitive. Eagle 359, high polish finish, just as before. You will not find numbered mag, and on the sheet it goes over the serial ranges. If you want to look that up, it'll give you that information. Second variation is a new variation. This is going to throw you a curveball. The only ones known to be 9mm. This is a solid block. It was an order for the Luftwaffe, and again we know that from not from factory records. They were destroyed. But when you go to the Luftwaffe bases, you'll find that there was a contract for 9mm. See the bigger diameter. It is Waffen 359 proof and special contract, matching number magazine. These were originally issued to a similar holster that would be Luftwaffe mark, and instead of PPK ink stamp it'll say PP, and it would come with two matching magazines. If you find one of those, let me know. Send me the serial number. I'll put it in our database. These are very rare 9mm Luftwaffe issued PPs. The third variation, we have the serial range, but it is also a Luftwaffe contract, but now it's 7.65. So it's exactly like the 9mm. It comes in a specific range. It comes with a matching magazine, numbered on the bottom, and it's Waffen 359. You'll notice this still has the high polish finish. It also has the serial number on the slide, which is unique for this subcontract. This is a duller finish, so this is a fourth variation. It went to the military. This one has a unique reddish grip. For some strange reason, during the serial range, they experimented with the color of the grip. Evidently, they didn't like it because they went back to brown. So for a very brief period of time, it has a reddish looking grip. In fact, this whole gun has like a reddish hue, which is the way they mixed the bluing solution and also the preparation of the metal. You'll see those on other Walther products such as the P38 and other guns. But this one is Waffen 359 proofed. You will not find matching magazines, so we assume this did not go to the Luftwaffe but rather the German Army. This is also a Waffen 359. You'll see the duller finish, but this one now has a wooden grip. They were running out of petroleum products, so for a period of time they experimented with wooden grips. This would have been about 1944. Now it still has the slide legend. You can see the slide legend there. And no matching mag, but these could fall into a certain range. And then I apologize in advance. This is not Waffen proof, but they did make these Waffen proofed. I just wanted to show you that by the end of the war in 1945, they actually didn't even bother putting, you see the slide legend there, very faint. Here the slide legend is removed. And if you look at the reverse, all they did was put the AC stamp, which was the factory code for Walther. So the last variation, 1945, would have a Waffen stamp here and here. And as I said, I do have a 1945 PP. In fact, this one is missing the proof marks, which means it was never issued. It was in the factory at the end of the war. But they do have no slide legend, AC marked, with Waffen stamped, which would be the final variation. So that's a really quick overview. If you want more information, you can go to the cheat sheet, take a look at that. Most importantly, if you have questions or comments, please like and subscribe to our video. Please be sure to contact us. We'd love to record your serial numbers. I am expanding my database. I have over 12,000 serial numbers at this point and could use some more. So stay in touch. If you have questions, feel free to send them in.